Feels like we've already been in the lands between recently. What are we doing back here already? Are we going for the next claw-only run? I've been really curious about this one in Elden Ring, since there are so many versions of the claws to go for this time. No, Prakuza. It is time for blood. Shouldn't we be in Bloodborne for that? Maybe I should roll the intro. That might clear things up. Howdy, I'm Prakuza, and welcome to DevBox, where we take games and tinker around their insides to see what makes them tick. Today, we'll be trying out a challenge run to push our current target to the limits of what is possible within the game's systems. In this case, we're going to be looking at Elden Ring and asking the simple question, can you beat the entire game while using only blood attacks? Boy, the longer I take to get those video essays I wrote out, the more out of place that intro is going to sound. Well, anyway, it's time to get down to this blood build of mine. Now, some of you watching at home might be wondering two things. One, how is a blood build a challenge run? Since bleed is one of the strongest status effects in the game. And two, why do I keep saying blood instead of bleed? Well, one answer is because it's not called bleed in this game, it's called hemorrhage. But the real answer is actually kind of the same. This isn't some Rivers of Blood, Reduvia, Bloodhound Fang run with every amount of bleed buildup stacking on top of each other. No, this is a blood run, which is to say I can only deal damage with attacks that force me to sacrifice a small amount of my own health to activate. This leaves me with exactly 2 attacks to use throughout the entire run. Bloodblade and Bloody Slash. So, let's get right into it and go pick up our first weapon. Now, in order to get this, we do have to kill the Knight guy in Fort Height, which does mean we'll have to break our rule in order to actually start the rule, right? Wrong, because we have gravity on our side. Gravity, and the barbaric roar that comes with our base club since we started as a wretch. A few well-placed screams at the top of the tower with the Dectus Medallion half, and we're a go for launch. It takes about 3 trips to the bottom, but the knight eventually dies and gives us our prize, Bloody Slash. Next, we unlock Fort Pharaoh, since we need to get access to Altus Plateau anyway, and also get Melina to take us to Roundtable Hole. Here, we can buy a dagger and add Bloody Slash to it. Now, the dagger is actually an important choice here, not an arbitrary one. See, while it might make sense at first to equip this to the strongest weapon that I can, hoping that the natural attack of the weapon will be imbued into the Ash of War, that is not the case. How do I know this? Well, I ran a few tests, putting the dagger against various swords and even other daggers while hitting the same enemies in front of Stormveil. And yeah, it didn't matter the weapon or the scaling, or even if I had extra strength and dexterity. Every single weapon did the same amount of damage, with the only factor increasing that damage being the level of the weapon itself, and my equipping the Warrior Jar Shard. Let's gloss over how I got the Jar Shard. I said gloss over, okay, fine. I killed Alex. He was my best friend, and I killed him for an average of like 15 extra damage per hit.
Humans all lose their wits eventually. How could this... Is my whole existence just a crop?
Anyway, now that we've got our Bloody Slash set up, we can head over and pick up our second attack, Bloodblade, all the way up in Altus Plateau. This is why the first thing we did was pick up the 2 halves of the Dectus Medallion. Getting the ability is simple enough. We only have to kill a quick scarab who drops the attack. Bloody Slash does quick work of him, and there are no other complications to speak of from killing this guy. None at all. Nothing to see here at all. Well, one more dagger and we've got a distance attack. However, unlike the Reduvia Bloodblade, this Ash of War requires my own blood to be used, and does not come with a weapon that can be upgraded with somber smithing stones. So it's the worst option in every way. But hey, that's the challenge, right? Why am I doing this to myself? Not important. What is important is getting my weapons up to the strength I'll need to blow through the early parts of the game. This means picking up the smithing 1 and 2 bell bearings and getting some early runes. We know the trick by now: kill Grail with Bloodblade, since only the first attack in a combo actually requires my blood, and then use the bleed procs to whittle the Dragon Mommy's health down. This is one of maybe 3 times where the bleed will even proc, by the way. Do not get used to this. Then we kill the Putrid Avatar with Bloody Slash for even more runes. It's more than enough to upgrade our weapons to plus 12 and get a healthy amount of vigor to use for our health draining attacks. Fun fact, it turns out that Bloodblade and Bloody Slash both draw a percentage of health, rather than a flat rate. Isn't that fun? Isn't that fact fun? To know that raising my health does nothing to increase the number of attacks I can get before I have to heal? Ain't it fucking great? Well, with that downer out of the way, how about another downer? Since I've made it to Altus, I might as well also start up the Volcano Manor questline. Why? Well, it gives some pretty powerful armor, and given that my weapons are daggers, I can actually afford the weight resources to equip some actually manageable gear. First on the list is Istvan, whose scaled armor is some of the best in the game. There are some others I'll be going for later, but this will do for now. Not gonna lie, it's also a pretty good look. Normally I rock the carrion armor for the bling, but scaled stuff isn't bad either. Now that we're all dripped up, let's head into the meat and potatoes this any percent. That's right, it's time for market. Would you believe me if I said that having 40 vigor trivializes the first few bosses? Because it trivializes the first few bosses. I think I do more damage to myself with Bloody Slash than he does with his heaviest attack. So market goes down with no issue. The rest of the castle is similarly not much trouble, as Bloodblade is more than capable of cutting down all of the exile soldier dudes. I'm not going to pretend to understand the lore behind these guys, only that their armor says exile something and the big ones are banished something. With that out of the way, we can come up for the real challenge of the run. Godric! Yeah, Godric is pretty easy like this. Hardly even worth stressing about the extra health damage I'm taking from using my blood as my primary weapon. Honestly, I was expecting that to be a bigger problem. Maybe later on. For now though, it's time to leave Godric and Stormveil behind for Radahn and Castle Redmane. Hey, remember that thing I was talking about like 5 seconds ago about stressing about my own health? Yeah, turns out if you don't have enough health to survive using Bloody Slash or Bloodblade, it doesn't stop you like it does if you run out of MP. Nope, it fucking kills you instead. So that happened. We're not going to talk about it. It's not going to come up again. Definitely not in a fight where I have 7 flasks remaining. Totally not foreshadowing for something to watch out for later. Forget that for now. It's fine. It's fine. Well, even though I got caught a couple times, this isn't exactly a repeat of the Morgott fight. Radahn goes down much easier, since Bloody Slash is already one of the strongest Ashes of War in the game. Although a lack of attention being given to my health aside, Radahn still goes down without too much extra trouble. But hey, this isn't the part where the game gets hard anyway. That comes later. Not much later, but later. Like an Altus Plateau, with the Draconic Tree Sentinel. This guy is a bit of a pain, but not enough to really be a major thorn for this run. To be honest, this might be the easiest time I've had against this guy in a while. Mostly from the fact that Bloody Slash does so much damage. The trick is to retreat to medium distance and wait for one of the cleaner opportunities before rushing in for a punish. Also, for anyone struggling with the timing of this shield lightning attack, the dodge timing is right as his shield drops. It can take some practice to nail the exact frame for when to dodge, but once you got it down, the rhythm is easy to repeat. Mostly. Inside Lindell, we avoid most of the stuff here because we can, and enemies are too tanky here anyway. If you want my whole spiel on how this place could be my favorite legacy dungeon, check out the Morgott run up in the iCard. Next up, however, is Goldfree. This is unfortunate, given that being a spirit, he is completely immune to being bled, or any other status effects for that matter. Not that this really means anything for us today. As far as the fight goes, it's easier Godfrey with no phase transitions, which is to say the easier variant, but with less free moments to get some heavy punishes out on him. Either way, Bloody Slash is still the way to go here. The raw damage is hard to compete with. Immediately after Gold Free and taking out this Black Knife Assassin is Morgott. This fight was honestly kind of cathartic. Like, I'm not really all that much better at it than I was in the Morgott run, but at least I have real damage this time. So he's still extremely hard, especially without the help of Spirit Summons or Melina, who I normally bring along for this fight, but he isn't an all-day wall. Instead, he goes down pretty quick. Okay, now it's Mountaintops of the Giants time, which means we're going shopping again. First is the next Smithing Stone Bell Bearing, which will let us get up to plus 18, and even as high as plus 20 for our Bloody Slash weapon. Although, perhaps we should take a look at the weapon we have using that ability right now. What exactly is it? Oh, hey! It's the Wakizashi! Yeah, I thought it would be cooler to have the katana knife, so I went down and picked up the Wakizashi from Jail Cave. Apparently it's pronounced Jail Cave, and is an Old English spelling of the word. Weird. Wait, did I already do that joke in the Bloodborne Claw run? Fuck. You know what? Head through the iCard and tell me that I already made the joke in the comments there. Super helps engagement. I also take this time to finish hunting down the rest of the Volcano Manor quests. Not because I want to actually fight Rykard. I'm not that crazy. For this run, no, instead I'm still looking for armor. That includes killing Riley for Tanith, Vargrim and Wilhelm for Bernal, and Targoth for Patches. Why? Because like it or not, this is what peak performance looks like. Although, that isn't even the final prize. After all, if this whole run is written with blood, then I should emulate a family whose tale is similarly penned. Doing this for you, Dialos. If you didn't constantly say your Hoslow line is written in blood line, then I wouldn't have to kill your brother and watch you die as I finish out your own quest line. There we go. Now we've got the good drip. Not sure if I actually want Dialos' helmet, though. Here, I'll give it to Jarbairn. He seemed to like Dialos. Although I gotta wonder, what happens when you kill Jarbairn? Oh, that. Weird. Hopefully that won't come back to bite me. Well, in the meantime, while I was talking about all of that, I've made it to Fire Giant. Like always, fuck Fire Giant. This guy sucks royally. However, his giant health pool does allow for some somewhat unique strategies, as long as I don't die right away. Okay, let's try this again. So, new strat. This is going to be the first time that Bloodblade is going to really come in handy for an actual fight, since it doesn't take much health to start off the combo, and stops taking extra health after the first in the coming string of attacks. Bloodblade is a must-have for taking out an enemy with a massive health pool like Fire Giant. That way I can actually kill him without completely running out of heals to recover the health I need to attack in the first place. Of course, the damage I'm doing from Bloody Slash and Bloodblade are nothing compared to the insane amounts of damage that Fire Giant does when he rolls on me. Or rolls fucking near me, apparently. Seriously, what was that damn hitbox? Well, on the run that actually gets the win, my Bloodblade strategy does pay off a bit. Although I come within a few MP of running out of the ability to actually deal damage in the first place. It might be a good idea to have more of the blue flasks, but that would require me to suck a lot less. So yeah, that ain't happening anytime soon. Hope that doesn't bite me later. For now, Fire Giant finally goes down with Bleed proc actually being the determining factor, as my Bloodblade makes him bleed right out of that thing between his knees. What a way to go. And away we go. On to Crumbling Farum Azula. Ah, fuck, I hate this place. Ugh, fine. We'll head on through. I don't kill a damn thing from start to finish. Running. And hey, it's Godskin Duo time now. Hey, these guys were surprisingly easy in the last run. I beat them on my second try. They couldn't possibly give me trouble with an even stronger attack at my disposal. Right? So this is going poorly. I'm not sure what isn't clicking this time, but it seems like the duo is sticking together a little tighter this time than the last time I beat these two. pillars don't seem to really be splitting them up, and each of them are chasing with the same amount of vigor. It takes a while, but that's where the trick here is. I need to actually separate these two in a way that makes unleashing a Bloody Slash doable. Also to note, while it's totally possible to stand on a destroyed pillar and attack Noble during the rollout attack, Bloody Slash causes the Tarnish to take enough of a step forward that it is very risky. Then there's the problem of the Apostle throwing black fireballs while I'm stuck in the long animation of Bloody Slash. Oh, and the same problems persist for Bloodblade, but with less immediate damage and worse MP conservation. However, eventually, I do manage to push through the fight and get the two separated enough to finish off Noble without Apostle causing too much trouble. Then it's a simple case of fighting each Godskin one-on-one before they can summon the next one. Thanks to the damage I have from Bloody Slash, it isn't too hard to keep knocking them out one after the other. Although I do have to be a bit aggressive in order to do that, which puts me at risk of getting caught by any of their quicker attacks. It's close, but spilling my own blood does the job and bleeds the Godskin duo away. Oh, and would you look at that? There's no other interesting footage to show between killing the duo and heading to the next boss. As an update, I didn't capture for this part, but I have now fully upgraded my weapons, since killing the Godskins has given me access to the final smithing bell bearing. However, as that happened off-screen, the fight against the second Draconic Tree Sentinel is happening on-screen. It's basically exactly the same as the last time, only he has higher stats than before. The strategy is the same, and I'm stronger than I was against him last time, so he goes down even faster than before. Then there's Malekith. He also dies quickly. In fact, let's go ahead and skip the whole fight. No need to actually focus on it. No? That's not gonna fly? Alright, whatever. We'll talk about it. So, given that I had nothing but trouble against this guy in the Margot run, that was a decent chance to really learn the fight. And learn it, I did. No more getting caught by the backstep double swipe. No more heals interrupted by the lunge. Most importantly, no more trying to punish the destined death attack and getting completely creamed in a single hit. The result is a legit first try Malekith. I honestly didn't even believe it when reviewing the footage, but yeah, got this guy in one. He's still a pain in the ass, but I've become a patient taker of ass punishment. Do your worst, Malekith. This power bottom won't bow out until you've been worn to a panting, snarling mess, and I've sprayed you with every ounce of my own bodily fluids that I have to spare. Anyone else kind of hot right now? Or is it only me? Oh, wait, it's the Earth Tree? Right, the whole lighting it on fire thing. Got it. Well, time to finish out the boss gauntlet and watch the credits. Gideon does Gideon things and spams magic until he dies. I don't much care to talk about it. What else is there to say? Gideon's annoying, laugh track, fucking whatever. Godfrey, however, yeah, he's a different case. Remember how Goldfrey was the easier Godfrey, but without the free punishes? Well, turns out those free punishes aren't as free as I kept assuming, because the amount of times I died trying to push Godfrey into any of his phase transitions, oh boy! Like, I would love to show some footage and talk about how bullshit the game was to me, but this is greed. Plain and simple. Like, if it was patience that got me through Malekith, it was impatience that walled me at Godfrey. This was probably a solid few hours, getting smashed in the face by Godfrey refusing to transition into Hoaraloo, until he was damn well ready. I mean, look at this shit. Watch me kill myself, because I'm desperately bloody slashing with the hope that he'll phase transition and I get a free moment to heal. So, once again, the actual winning run is the one where I don't let my impatience get the best of me, and I actually wait for an opening to beat his face in. As difficult as the first Elden Lord might have been, he goes down like the rest, making way for the next Lord to take his place.
Brave, tarnished, thy strength befits a crown.
My strength befits a crown indeed, Godfrey. Rest well, old man. You're the fucking best thing this game has. And now, for the worst. Not Radagon, he's awesome. The combo that is Radabeast, though. Fuck that ridiculous double phase fight. However, The girthy length of his double fight does force me to be strategic for once, because there is absolutely no way that I'm going to be able to get through Elden Beast if I'm needlessly bleeding myself of both health and MP. In fact, in one of the best runs I had early on, this is exactly what happened. I actually ran out of health and didn't have enough resources to finish off Elden Beast himself. Honestly, as much as this sucked, it was kind of interesting to finally run into a boss where the problem actually was running out of heals and MP to keep the damage going, instead of greeting too hard or killing myself when I had extra flasks to rely on. Now, let's talk about what the actual strategy was for this fight. There are two aspects to it, both of which have to be perfect in order to make it through. The first is how to kill Radagon. He moves a little too fast and shifts across the arena for Bloodblade to be of any kind of useful, since I can't get any combos going for long enough to really be worth it. So it's bloody slashes all the way, and I only get to miss 2 slashes and still have enough MP to finish him off, which is only a problem when Radagon likes to teleport, something he does all the time during his second phase. After Radagon is dead, it's Elden Beast time, and he is actually more susceptible to Bloodblade, which is much better at conserving both health and MP. Using this attack, it takes exactly 2 bars of MP to kill Elden Beast. Exactly. It takes exactly 2 bars. I'm essentially not allowed to miss at all. So if I see Elden Beast run away, I have to immediately stop, regardless of if I'm 5 shots through a combo or barely started it. With this strategy in mind, I gear up with some Exalted Flesh, eat my boiled crab, and slash away with purpose. Those canceled each other out. Fuck. So, a blood build. How was it? Not great. And that wasn't even every attack I would have had available to me. Technically, the Briar spells would also have worked, but they didn't feel completely necessary in the end. They kind of suck, and I probably wouldn't have even used them. Still, Bloody Slash is strong enough to carry for most of the run. But boy did it force me to be more patient and cautious of my health than I ever am. Another thing to note, in case the comments are already asking why I didn't focus on this, the attack power of both Bloody Slash and Bloodblade can be improved with the Arcane stat. So towards the end of the run, that's where a lot of my points went. I did more tests to check it later on in the run, but it felt like it would completely kill the pace of the video before now. So anyone looking to get the most out of blood attacks, Arcane is the way to go. Now though, it's time to sit back,
The tale of House Hoslow is told in blood.
relax,
That's the kind of warrior I want to be one day, cuz.
and let the falling leaves tell a story of blood.
But the tale of House Hoslow is told in blood.
Ugh.